We're going to take a slightly different approach to the abortion discussion. So according to the Michigan Adoption Resource Exchange, there are more than 3,000 children in Michigan that are awaiting permanent homes. They have no one, basically, except for the state. So how will you work to reduce that number and prevent it from rising if abortion becomes fully illegal in Michigan? Starting with you, candidate Kelley.
It's a great question, and definitely with the overturning of Roe versus Wade and the decisions coming back to the state, going to be a very discussed topic this election cycle. If you watch, or if you look at my 100-day plan on my website, you will see that we have the People's Cabinet. And I'll give you an example of what that looks like. I am working with a large group of parents in the foster system and looking to adopt so we can understand the roadblocks and the difficulties in regard to having foster children in the homes and then being able to adopt children. It's very difficult to adopt children here in the state of Michigan. We're going to work to put things in place to make it easier for parents to adopt children and find the right homes. It is something that is, going to be a continued issue that we have to deal with unless we get this corrected. Right now, there are so many parents out there that want to adopt children. So working with people that are actually going through the system now to identify the areas that need to have solution-oriented processes put in place, then working with the legislature to get those put into law.
Thank you, candidate. All right, Mr. Soldano.
My mom was adopted. And so this is very personal to me. And like a lot of departments and agencies in the state of Michigan, we need to make sure that we're looking at everything to make them better. We need to start putting more emphasis on pregnancy crisis centers. We need to put more emphasis on reforming the adoption and foster care systems. And we have to make sure that these women are supported who decide to give birth, right? That are going through this, that they have medical insurance, that they have support, that they understand and know that their baby is loved, that their baby is going to be cared for, and that when they give them up for adoption, that baby is going to be also cared for. So we have to do everything that we can to help these women and these children that go into the foster care and the adoption centers.
All right. Mr. Rinke.
I have several friends that have adopted multiple children, and I'm sorry to tell you that they went to Russia, they went to China, they went to Africa, and we talk about children in America that are sitting in homes and can't be adopted while we are sending adoptive parents to foreign countries because it is easier, it is more accessible, and we need to look at the regulations. We need to look at the rules and the laws that make it so difficult for an American family to walk into an American adoption center and make a match with the child and provide for them. When my wife and I struggled to have our third child, we actually were going to adopt. And it was very, very difficult. We were looking at going overseas to adopt because that was faster and a better solution.
Thank you, candidate.
Than what Michigan offered.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Dixon, you're up.
Well, I hope you'll ask Gretchen Whitmer the same question because she just vetoed quite a lot of funding for adoption in the latest budget. So she vetoed grants for adoptive parents. That would help us to reduce that number of 3,000 kids. That would help families find the child that they're looking for and children find their forever home. But Gretchen Whitmer doesn't want that. She also vetoed safe homes for pregnant women. So even pregnant women who are scared and maybe looking for that answer, she vetoed that. So we should ask her what she thinks about where these children will end up. She also vetoed funding for pregnancy centers. You know why? Because they talk about adoption. So maybe we should ask Gretchen Whitmer what she will do for the 3,000 children and the mothers who would like to give up their babies for adoption and the parents who so desperately would like a baby. Because she has vetoed all of these programs. In fact, even education for these women who might need to find out about adoption.
Ms. Dixon, can you talk a little bit about what you would do as governor? And then I see your rebuttal. Go ahead, you got 20 seconds.
Yes, we've talked about a family-friendly Michigan. We want to have these pregnancy centers available to women so that they know their options and also so that they know that they can either keep their baby or they can safely find a home for people who would love to have their baby, but also so that they can get the care that they need. And if they need a safe home, of course, we want our women out there to be safe. We want this to be a family-friendly state. Family's number one.
Thank you. All right, I see your rebuttal.
We shouldn't be asking what the current governor is going to be doing because she's done after this election cycle. We need to know the solutions that we're going to be bringing, and that's why when I discussed my solutions that are applicable to the parents that are looking to have adoption access and foster access now, the solutions come from the Republican side of the aisle because obviously this current governor is done after the November election, everything that she's done to our state. So
Thank you, candidate.
bring solutions to
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Rebandt.
Yes, this is a special question because on the abortion issue, Father Frank Pavone and Abby Johnson have both endorsed me. But on the issue of adoption, this is really a special topic for me for several reasons. One, our son and daughter-in-law adopted 2 African-American girls. And they adopted them when they were 1 year old or just under 1. And now they're 10 years old. They're just beautiful young ladies. And in our church, we've had people that have adopted children. They've waited in line to get children. So I don't mean to be disagreeing with the number of 3,000, but we have people at our church that are eager and anxious to adopt. And the reason why is because adoption really reflects what God's love is for us. He takes people from every tribe, nation, kindred, and tongue, and he brings us into his family. And that beautiful picture is what will transform the society once we get that support in the news out. So I would do whatever it takes to make adoption much easier than what it is.
Okay. Thank you, candidates.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's